The first phase of a multi-million-dollar project is completed at the Byron Nuclear Plant. Crews gave WIFR a behind-the-scenes look at its largest project since the late 90s. Miriam Niesmeyer introduces us to leaders who say the work will help increase energy output across the region.
It's important that we get additional power out there.
Inside the Byron generating station, the hum of new turbines echo throughout the plant.
As those turbines spin, it spins our generator. Our generator provides output, goes out to our transformers, which puts it to the right voltage to send out to the grid.
Every 18 months, crews shut down each reactor in the plant, which opened in 1985, to refuel and make sure all parts work properly. But this time, the shutdown went beyond routine work.
We're not adding anything to the footprint, but we're able to generate more electricity.
Byron just completed phase 1 of a major milestone project to increase the power output by nearly 80 megawatts.
So our new turbines have increased efficiency, and we've gained quite a bit of output with that.
The work in Ogle County is one half of an $800 million upgrade to Byron and Braidwood nuclear plants. Both projects will add a combined 158 megawatts to the region's electric grid.
Power about another 100,000 homes when we're all done.
The outage also fuels the local economy through the hundreds of temporary workers brought in to support the project. Workers who eat and shop at local stores and supermarkets.
Also good for the community with it in terms of its jobs. It's a lot of very well, high-paying jobs for people. The planning, the coordination, the teamwork, watching it all come together is really neat to watch.
In Byron, Miriam Niesmeyer, WIFR News.
The plant will have another outage in the fall and will upgrade Unit 2's low-pressure turbines. The project is expected to be completed in 2028.